Are you living with chronic pain? If you have chronic pain of any kind, this video is for you. My name is Chris. I have had idiopathic cervical dystonia since I was born. It was a birth defect related. It causes neurological involuntary muscle contractions in my neck and in the right neck. So I've experienced chronic pain for about 35 years, and it's been a journey. But I want to help you with your experience, because it was quite difficult to do it by myself, and any help I think is valuable. For more than 20 of those years, I was an arrogant, egotistical ass. I was running, right? The pain was running after me. And I felt that internally. I felt the attack. And I didn't end up being a great guy as a result. Chronic pain plus life can equal confusion and a lot of suffering, quite a bit of suffering. It also creates a lost human that's circling, at least I felt like someone circling the event horizon of a black hole, just barely able to hang on. So that was from, age 16 until about 34 or 5. In 2010, I had a near-death experience. It was awesome. My gallbladder was necrotic, and it nearly took me. So I had a wake-up call, a very serious shock. In 2012, I had the fortune of meeting a medical troubleshooter as I had gone on a search for medical professionals. Those searches for me were only every 4 or 5 years, because they are traumatic and filled with gaslighting that is probably only unparalleled to the way that the medical establishment treats people who are overweight. It's appalling, but the amount of incredulity and I don't believe you in healthcare, of all places, is astounding. So when I found this person, I was stoked, and they raised my medication, which had been dearly needed for quite some time, and I was able to function. I went back to work and was happy. I was a much nicer guy to my wife and to everyone else around me, frankly. And it was because I had made changes. When I received that respite by having the medications increased, which isn't like 100% positive, right? Opioids cause major issues with male reproductive system, with your ability to feel whether things are going wrong or not in your body. It's not ideal. It is a solution, but it is not ideal. So once I found that functionality, I committed to figuring out what were the cancers inside of me, the mind cancers, that had metastasized and grown into something pretty damn ugly. So I provide you with all that history to say I am qualified to offer some thoughts on how one can live with chronic pain and find real meaning in life. It required me to effectively become a lay monk. I had known about Buddhism and its tenets for some time, but I had no interest in a philosophy that told you unconditionally you are 100% responsible for everything that's happened in your life. That single statement put me off by a year from even looking at it. But the fear of the pain and the result it was going to generate was greater than the fear of change. And that's the secret I found, is you have to hurt bad enough to actually change. Because change is difficult. But what I found was the felt pain I was experiencing was about 50% my body and about 50% my mind. I was actually amplifying the pain unconsciously, and certainly not by any volition. And by adding what's referred to in psychology as the second arrow, right? I hit the first arrow, that's the pain. But the second arrow is the shame and the negative self-talk and the self-pity, frankly, that can emerge from, why is this happening to me? And why doesn't it stop? It's all self-pity, frankly, when we get right down to it. And I had to stop all that. I decided that the character of Chris wasn't serving me. In Buddhism, they speak quite vividly about the ego and its problems. And I had them in spades. So I was able to eliminate my ego, but it doesn't go away. You have control, and that control allows you to make changes in your life you would not otherwise select, because it is antithetical to the ego. It's going to damage the role of the ego if I adopt these principles from Buddhism or Stoicism or any other philosophy that has suffering as a component of its tenets. A lot of the observations of the Buddha were right, no matter how I felt about them. All of them are, frankly. That sucked, but what do you do? So, my pain didn't change. It has actually progressed along the years, and since 2012, 2024 now, it's following a reasonable linear line in terms of its increase over time. Not going to get better. It's only going to get worse. The medications might improve, and I might find greater relief somewhere else, but I have foregone any hope that this will resolve before my death. I do not believe in hope. This is one of the hard lessons of chronic pain that you will learn and become resentful of, even if you follow it. And that is, judgment of any kind is to be avoided. To say pain is bad is taking something that is occurring, certainly, and labeling it in a very simplistic and, frankly, meaningless way. Judgment created, for me, a dragon that chased me. When I spun around and looked that dragon in the eyes, it effectively dissolved. When I faced the fear said, oh, kidding. And then all those years that I was a prick were owned. They're mine. And this non-judgment thing, it took a little while. It still takes time and effort today to properly execute these ideas. But they're so worth doing, because regardless of how much pain I am in, if I can add 0 to that equation, and I can use my mind as a potential distraction switch to keep it from thinking about pain because it's thinking about something else. Frankly, this is one of the reasons that it's taken so long for me to get videos out, is because I don't want to talk about pain as it reminds me of the pain. However, part of growth is realizing that sometimes you have an experience and a story that is compelling, and being born with something and then learning how to deal with it. I say that's applicable to just about anybody. Getting over yourself, to avoid or simply don't look into the future and build a plan with such detail that when it comes to pass, if it comes to pass, you'll be disappointed automatically because it doesn't match your set of requirements, your expectations, your judgment call. You don't matter. Neither do I. And our opinions matter even less, including that about pain. So I empathetically hear my friends and fellow chronic pain sufferers with, I can't take it anymore, and this is irrepressible, and I can't handle this. I understand. Truly, I understand. But the answer is not to wallow in the pit of despair. It doesn't work. It never has. I spent so many years in a proverbial coal mine with no ladders or light, trying to find a way out. And the only way that I found were 2,000 plus year old traditions where people are still following those traditions, and they make sense, and they follow experimental results. When you do something according to the Dharma, the knowledge of the Buddha and Buddhism in its teachable form, the Dharma is amazing. And it's very matter-of-fact way of telling anyone, a king to a slave, you are here to find your purpose and carry it out. That is a very hard task, but it is doable. You will come upon something that you lose track of time doing, or you can't help but love. And that's it. If it isn't that, it's something really close to it. And when you pursue that, it adds the meaning that can discount somewhat the pain. The mission or vision that I had in my life, I thought it would be really specific, but it's not. It's help people and create stuff. Okay, here we are. Knowing that I'm my own worst enemy, that I am the one who can make it not just suffering, but absolute hell. And that's my choice. I don't care for the fact that the choice is there, and I would much prefer it to not be there. But those choices are not mine, and those are judgments, so I don't make those. Not in my head, not as someone yelling at me for not doing what I am supposed to do. All those voices have quieted because the ego isn't there. The nagging and the you're not doing enough, I guarantee you I'm doing as much as I humanly can. And if you live every day as if you are a monk or the straightest laced Eagle Scout you can think of, not having regret and anger and conflict in your life will make an enormous difference related to your pain. Seek out solutions. Don't ever stop looking. Chronic pain may be a permanent fixture in your life, but in my mind, it is only a small portion of what I am. Less than 10%. I have a relationship with my wife that's unparalleled, and I'm routinely shocked at how easy it has been for us to remain madly in love. I don't understand it. I love it. And I don't want to understand it. It's great that it's mysterious. You have a reason to be. You have something to give. And it's upon you to find it, but there's lots of help. All you have to do is want the answers. And to think about wanting them most of the time. Not as a coveting, but as a help me learn what I'm doing wrong and what I might be able to do differently. Take on the what can you do right now to help your situation in in terms of chronic pain. It's quite simple. Find something that you really enjoy doing. Not kind of, really. Akin to a favorite meal that you never turn down. That thing, drawing, watching movies, telling jokes, creating novels, making music, doesn't matter. Whatever it is that causes this thing to work will divert resources in your mind away from your midbrain signals that are transmitting the pain. It's been what I have found. That distraction at a passion level is unstoppable in terms of its ability to put pain on hold. It's unbelievable. And I practice it every bloody day. Get up, make a video, make music, make, a document, write a white paper, think about things. There's so much that's available in the world for myself and anyone else to discover their passions, and it's easier than ever. You don't have to go find some stupid magazine or send in a mail order strip to get a little catalog. It's right there on the internet, on YouTube. You can learn right now what you need to do. The trouble is that 95% of the people watching this will not follow the instructions to seek out what it is you are doing wrong in terms of how you are living with pain and then how you can improve those things. This is the last thing I hear typically from people with chronic pain. It's, I'm not getting help from my physicians. The people around me don't believe me. I'm shunned by my friends and coworkers because I can't hide the pain. It shows on my face, and they don't want to be around someone who's in pain. These are the complaints that I hear most frequently. Discrimination and other types of bias, 100%. The invisible disability syndrome, 100%. None of that shit matters. None of it matters. They are all excuses. They are all external causes that you can point at and say, but, I am a victim. I am being put upon. This chronic pain should not be. And that self-pity and judgment and that's the mistake in and of itself. To judge the pain is to make it stronger. If you can understand that the pain is there and you can't do a bloody thing about it. So the best choice you have in business, it's called the best bad choice, right? Because there's never any good choices. There's always just bad choices. So what's the best bad choice? That's our lot. That's where we are. It's possible to live a happy, fulfilled life with chronic pain. I testify to this on my heart. I simply don't lie. I promise you, it is achievable, but it is bloody hard. And the people that will execute the plan, the ones that I'm really speaking to, they're in so much pain, they're actually living in the waiting room in hell. I know that place well. You do not want to be there. If you found yourself in a condition that's that bad, where should it continue at all becomes questions in your mind, you have entered very dangerous territory. And it is incumbent upon you to leave immediately. Go find any type of inspiration and fill your head with it. You're gaslighting yourself. It's okay. This is what you do in these moments. The motivation channels on YouTube, crap like mine that's telling you things about chronic pain that you might know, but you don't want to hear. They're all inspirational and motivational towards a state that you're not in. And most of us don't have chronic pain problems. We have living problems. We're experiencing something that we cannot emerge from the survival level at the Maslow hierarchy. It's the triangle with self-actualization as the topmost level. I'm there a lot of the time. But when the pain decides it's in control, it yanks me back and forth from trying to work on self-actualizing efforts and being in survival mode. That I've not found answers to, and it's just hard, and you have to come up with hacks because there's really no other way. I've spoken to pain psychiatrists and other people who have experienced loads of chronic pain, and they all, to a person, said it is mindset. If you believe that you can live a meaningful life with the pain, that's the ticket. That's what you're looking for. Don't try to get rid of the pain. Simply, yes, go to your doctors and look for medical solutions. I'm not saying that. But I am saying if you think about pain almost all the time, you're following a trend that most people know, but they just don't listen to. You become what you think about most of the time. If you think about pain most of the time, you're just going to be a ball of pain. And that's not good. You need to choose to gaslight yourself into a neutral state. Then I suggest Buddhism. And we'll talk about it more in other videos. But the idea that there is suffering, and that's just a fact, and there's nothing you can do about it, and that there's a cause and a cure, and here it is. That was the most hopeful thing that I had thought in a very long time. And when it finally translated in my mind, I said, oh God, I've been doing it all along. And it's true. It doesn't matter. What matters is electing to get out and spend as much time as you can in a virtual place, which allows you to be productive and make and enjoy the process of making, or perhaps helping others. It doesn't truly matter. All that really matters is you're thinking about something other than pain. And if that thing is something you're passionate about, you're far more likely to stay on it and keep your mind trained away from pain for a longer period. You're going to become exhausted. You're going to have problems. Work to improve your stamina. Most people with chronic pain, me included, I'm guilty, will use the pain as an excuse to not move. And I don't really care how you move, right? It doesn't matter. But if you're not moving every hour, minimally, there's one of your problems. Start moving. Their right motion is lotion. I have something that has involuntary muscle contractions, and if I have a massage or anything related to manipulating the muscles in there, I get sick for days. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about touching that. I am talking about moving the rest of your body, sweating, losing your breath, clean out a room, whatever it takes. Sweat. It feels really good. And once you've done it, you're like, I actually got something done. And then it starts. And the snowball only gets bigger as it goes down the hill. You have the option of living a meaningful life with chronic pain. And according to the people that I've spoken to, there are those that are on 80, 90 milligrams of oxycodone 4 times a day, 400, 500 milligrams of morphine 4 times a day. Serious doses for serious pain. Mine's certainly not that serious. But it's bad enough. And one of the tricks with chronic pain that I've learned is judging my pain as it relates to someone else's pain is just dumb. Pain is inference. We're using the limited signals we have, and our brain's telling us something's wrong. This hurts. But nervous system's messages should not alter your life. And yet they do. So you have to become stronger and bigger and more capable of holding your experience versus watching it run away from you. And it's a very subtle thought, but man, it's hard. And it's worth doing. This I can promise you. All of the experiments that I have done, all of the steps that I've taken to try and improve my lot do nothing but help. And there's something to that. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for clicking on the video. Like it if you did. Tell me what you think in the comments. I suspect some people won't be all that happy with me, but it's been my truth, and I enjoy sharing it in the hope that it helps someone else. Subscribe, please, and expect some more videos very, very soon. I am, as they say, back on the wagon. So let's get it done. I want to help. I want to help you. And if this is compelling, yet you don't know next steps, ping me. Let's find out what the answers are. I'm in the Reddit chronic pain forums a good bit. Post your experience. Find out what other people think. I promise you, I am not the only one living this lay monk kind of existence where pain is there, but it is not a prominent part of my life because I choose to not make it. There's lots of other people that can help as well. But my goal is to help illuminate something for you that might not be evident. And then you have a unconscious responsibility in this process. And you need to discover what it is, what your part is. Because that's all you can do anything about. The Stoics have been very clear on this, right? You can control your thoughts and your actions, and everything else, from culture to your spouse to the events, it doesn't matter. You can't control any of it. Much less pain being put upon you. So you have to find a different way, and they are there. So thank you very much again. Like, subscribe, and more later.